So this is, let me just check sound levels, make sure we're alright. We're alright here, mate. We're alright. Just to make sure that we have sound, and we do. Okay. Right. So this is where we got last night. We got Farmer Giles in here, which apparently is I didn't realise this, but Farmer Giles is actually a Tolkien character. I always thought it was just some kind of archetype English farmer. And the idea is that he's going to have a tractor beam because it's a kind of alien farm. I don't know. I haven't really come up with a background story for this yet. But he's going to get the sheep here, and then he's going to grab a sheep one at a time and then throw them into the Shiromatic, which I think I got from Wallace and Gromit. None of these ideas are particularly original, but I really didn't want to do another shooting game because I did one for Ludum 39. And the idea is that, and forget about this bit here, that's wrong, that placement. It'll go in the Shiromatic and then it'll like show like puffy white things going through there, and eventually it gets spat out here. You then pick that up and then actually put it into here. And then I was thinking about bad guys. Maybe we need like a robber. So there's going to be like a robber as well. And then we have foxes as well. And I think that's pretty much it. And then just the game gets faster and faster and faster until eventually you can't keep up. You know, there's more robbers, more all kind of stuff. And when you drop it in the Shiromatic, then it, what does it do? Where was it going to go with that? Yeah, you drop it in the Shiromatic. I can't remember what I was going to do. There. Oh yeah, that was it. So if you drop the sheep in the Shiromatic, then it goes through the pipe. If you let go of the trigger when you're holding a sheep, it fires the sheep and it knocks out the robber. That's the idea, or the fox, depending on which one it is. Now the fox attacks the sheep and kills the sheep, which affects your score. The robber steals the wool from here, which also affects your score. So you have to stop the robber from getting your wool. Once the wool gets in here, it's safe, but if you let the wool pile up, then the robber gets attracted to it. And yeah, I think that's all we need to be going on with. So I think for the first couple of hours I want to draw the farmer because the graphic that we have here, just before I hit the button, actually I hit the button to start streaming, and my machine blue screened. So if you're following me on Twitter, you'll have seen that. In fact, the stream looks a bit dodgy. And also, if you're joining us and you didn't see this yesterday, I will be putting this up on my YouTube channel, which is here, just in the lower third right down there. So I do like tutorials and things on YouTube, which you might be interested in. So if you don't want to watch this long form, which is basically me trying to be a pixel artist for the first couple of hours at least anyway, then you might be interested in those videos there, or find someone else on Twitch to watch, because I'm sure that they're coding more than I'm faffing around with artwork, or at least maybe they're doing some better artwork than I am. I'm not an artist. So right, what I want to do, I want to fire up Photoshop. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to show. So this is where we got last time. Where's my joystick? And so I have my trusty joystick here, and the game Oh, because I called that the main menu. Ew. Right, I'm going to rename that the main menu. Double click that, and I'm going to rename the menu to game so that we don't have anything mixed up. Okay. And also, just show you as well. Bucket. If you also want to get the code for this, I've uploaded it to my Bitbucket resource there. So yeah, you can grab the Bitbucket that's that line there. So bitbucket.org, Sloan Kelly YouTube repository. So everything that I've done up there so far is in there. And so yeah, here's what we have so far. If I press the button there, we can move the camera around. Now this is working yesterday. Now that looks more like it's pushing it out the road. Is that not a trigger anymore? No, it's not a trigger anymore. So I guess that didn't save and then it crashed. And yeah, that's why that's not working. Okay, so what we had yesterday was we had our gravity gun. No, it's still acting like it's repelling. What is going on here? This trigger. Oh no, that's why. Circle click. No, I don't want that to be a trigger. I want the gravity gun pickup to be a trigger. That's got to be a trigger. So okay, there we go. There we go. Why that has failed, I don't know. I guess it's because it crashed earlier. Okay, so so right now it kind of wanders around for whatever reason, but it does kind of follow. Yeah, there's something weird and wrong there. Anyway, I want to fix the graphics just now because they look awful. Alright, now my archetype for this is gonna be where are we? This guy here. So this is a Farmer Palmer from Viz Comic. And I don't know how I'm going to draw him, but we'll figure something out. Maybe start with the feet. What if we did? Let's go back to the draw cam. Okay, so my Farmer Palmer. This is like a bit like a tone deaf musician trying to play the trombone here. Okay, so we kind of want there's his boots. That's his kind of his boots there. Do you see my boots? So that's his boots there, and then we kind of got his legs that kind of go up like that. And then we need a kind of like deformed body type thing, which is not too much there. Maybe we need to make this a little bit taller. So we've got a deformed body, and then we've got like a kind of giant head sitting on there with his eyes and his nose, and he's got this kind of like uh, farmer palmer type hat thing on here. So it's kind of like that. It's kind of like that, and then he's got a kind of ray gun, so that's kind of his arms going to come out like this. Like that, and then he's going to have like some kind of ray gun, and the ray gun's kind of look a bit like um, this, I guess, with kind of weird scribbly things on the side, and then like a kind of a blue glow or something in there. And then my idea um, for the beam is going to be something like maybe I should move the camera over here so I can talk to the camera as well. There you go, that's better. So my idea for the beam is that it's going to be something like, you know, that, but it's basically going to be like a circle, and then it gets smaller, and then so that kind of looks a little bit nicer there. That's my idea. And then the sheep sort of fit neatly in there. If we don't get the animation done, I think we'll just snap it to that point. That's probably the easiest way. Sorry, I'm covering this up. Probably just snap it to that point there, and then yeah, I think that's good. Good enough. There's not really much in the way of animation here. Maybe I want them to. So that's got to be kind of like that. So that's like a third. That's like a third. And then up there's a third. So really it's a quarter. And that's a quarter there. So that's about the sort of dimensions that we're looking for there. So if we make that, I want to make this as kind of pixelated as possible. So if we make that 32, that means we've got 8 pixels for each of these parts here. So that's 8 pixels there. And then that means that this is probably 8 and that's probably 8, so that's going to be 16 across that way. So our sprite is going to be 16 by 32. I think that's okay. And then we need to make that, obviously. I mean, it looks a bit like a snowman just now. Maybe we have that as a kind of, maybe give him a kind of an overlap here, so that his kind of chin kind of like sags down, so it's kind of more kind of like that. If that makes any sense, like that, rather than this. It's kind of like that. That's my idea anyway. Yeah, and maybe we should scan this in. Maybe that's a better idea. Yeah. Go grab this. And I will sync that with the cloud. Backing up, back on the streets. Do my time, do my answers. And let's go. Shift E. Show folder. And there we go. There's our image that we had earlier on, like 2 seconds ago. And I'm going to open this with Photoshop. There's Photoshop there. Copy that, and then copy that gold leader. And we want 16, and we want 32. Great. And he's very tall. Maybe we're going to have to make him a little bit bigger than that. Because that looks like he's more like 24, I would say. And that's just garbage. So, yeah, let's make him 24. But we'll make it 10 times the size. So he will be 240 by 320. And in that way, it won't look so smushed up. About that. There we go. So he's not going to look so smushed up now. Okay. So he's kind of all to the side there, but we'll try and figure that out. Okay, and let's do this tool. So there's his shoe. Kind of flares almost. So that is that one there, and then we've got his weird crazy kind of body shape there, and really we want that kind of to be in there. And then the next one is going to be his face, which yeah, this is awful, but we're kind of stuck with it. And then the hat, which is this kind of shape here. Like that. Yeah, I mean, you know, it doesn't look much, but I don't know. Let's get rid of these as well, and we'll add. Just more. Yeah, not the greatest here, and looks nothing like Farmer Palmer here. Okay, so his boots are kind of green. Yeah, that's fairly awful. I don't know what I was thinking. Oh dear, let's just do it with pixels. Okay, so where's my photo? Alright. So there's that there, and then that's going to be broken up by 2 in the middle. And then we get that. And that. fact, what we can do is we can have these side by side. So I can get rid of this one, and then I can do window, arrange, tile all vertically. There we go. And swap these two here. Oh, let me do that. Arrange, tile vertically. There you go. So there's that there, that there. So that's his boots. His boots. And then we want his trousers, which are going to be in another layer. I'm sure there's an easier way to do this, but I can never figure it out in time anyway. So there's that. So that's his trousers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 8. That's his trousers. That is actually his trousers. Okay, and then we want his body, and his body. So that's trousers or pants, depending on where you're from. But I'm going to go with trousers. And then this is body, and his body is basically quite big. So it's so that is his body there. This is just this big slab. And then his face. So his face, what is this? What does Farmer Palmer's face look like again? He's got, he's kind of angry. He's got a kind of long face as well, rather than a short face, but I guess we're kind of stuck with the so his face is actually going to come down into here, so we're going to bring this in a couple. And we'll sculpt this out later on. I'm going to save this as Farmer Giles Mark II. So we'll say that's Farmer Giles Mark II. And you can see he's sort of come into shape. We'll mold. We're basically sort of getting the kind of the happiness quotient in here. And then we need a hat. And the hat is going to end there, but it's going to be the same size as his head. So it's that, and then we want to take out these. Really want to take out these here, and then add them back in, and then we want to build out this here because this is kind of the peak of his hat. Kind of like that. And that's the sort of peak of his hat. Now his head, obviously we need to make it a little bit more rounded. We'll do that by doing this. And we also need to sculpt out ears as well. So we'll get rid of that, and then we'll do ears either side, which is that. And then we're going to put in eyes. And his eyes are just going to be here. Like that. And then his nose is going to be in the middle. nose, which is giving me some colour, I haven't decided. And then we want to do head outline. So our head outline is going to be down here. So we need to bring this over his head, like that. Like that. So that's kind of his head, and then his mouth is a kind of, he's a grumpy man. So his mouth is going to be kind of that kind of thing. And if we just fill in his nose just now, you can sort of see he's taking shape. I mean, it's not the greatest. We also need his so his hat's too big actually. So let me just bring his hat in a little bit. Oops. Because we need to make it a bit, and then we'll add a little bit to the hat here. So it kind of looks like it's over his head, I guess. Yeah, I think I draw better than I do pixel art, but and we'll round off the shoulders a little bit. And we need the arms in here now, so the arms are going to come down arms. Or something like that. And we'll do the same thing up here as well. Some of that. Okay. Delete that. Okay, I don't want to delete that. I want to make that red so that we know that we're covering stuff up. Okay. And then I want to have so outline's got to be all of this. All of this. I actually wrote a program that automatically does outlines. It's kind of cool. In fact, I think I did a video for it. It was part of the Attic Attack series. So there's like a whole bunch of tools that I wrote just to sort of help make the graphics out. And then when I started the Manic Miner one, I realised that I'd been a fool and that I should have done it just as a sort of straight up copy of the graphics. And so I kind of scrapped the idea, and I still actually need to go back and finish off Manic Miner. It's been a while. But I will get back to it. And there we go, there's our outline there. There. There you go, that's our outline. We don't need that one there. Okay. So that is our farmer. And then we need a big kind of glowy circly thing when he's not wandering around. We also need to colour in his pants and things. So just above his trousers, I'm going to put a trouser line in there. And we'll call that. So yes, he's about, 3 times better than the previous one. He's not great, but looks a bit more like a farmer. And now Farmer Palmer has got like a kind of stripy hat. So he's also got a pipe as well sticking out of his mouth, but I don't know if we can do that with the pixel we've got. This is just gonna, I'm just gonna leave that as his hands just now. And we should just clean that up and just use that. It's kind of off to the side, which is a bit annoying. Okay. I want to do color here. So let's do hat color. So hat color is just going to be a kind of polka dot. So I want it to be this kind of dark brown here, and I'm sure we could make a brush for doing this, but it's probably just as quick doing it this way. It's also kind of therapeutic as well. So you screw up halfway through the pattern. And go. So there's that there, and then he's got a kind of lighter version of it. Bring the light in a little bit from here. So we'll do this one. And we'll do that, and then we'll do a darker one as well. Be darker than that. Like that. So he kind of looks like that. It's alright. And so his, I'm going to do flesh color. So this is going to be head color. And then the head color is going to be color. That's good. And for head, grab all of that. All of that. All of that. Take away this. then what I want to do is I want to make this a little bit darker, just underneath his hat and right here. So just to give him a bit of tone, a bit of 3D. There. Put it into there. There. Something like that. A little bit of tone. There you go. And then I'm going to lighten up a little bit on the other side here, so we'll go kind of there. So I'll do that, that, and that. There. Okay. And that's what it's going to look like actual size. So, well, it's actually a bit bigger than that. And the gun will be in there as well. So he's got green wellies, but they have boots color, but they have like a light bottom to them. So I'm not going to do that. I think I'm just going to do it just as a sort of straight color. And they're kind of, let's see, they're kind of this color here. And let's do this as the base color. So the base color for the boots is not that. Riveting stuff, this, isn't it? Sorry. Has to be done. Luckily, there's going to be like a fast-forwarded version of this, so you needn't worry too much about it. There. Then we want to have a kind of light open here, so I want to do just on here, just to give it a hint of 3D-ness. And there's his boots. I don't really like the shape of the boots. I think the boots should be more rounder. They look more like kind of little triangles. Maybe we should fix that just now. So let's get rid of that. And then the boots themselves, they should be more like this, I think. And then the outline, I don't know where these begin and where these end. Let's get rid of outline here. Right there, bring the boots back in, and then we can do our outline. So our outline is more like this now. Yeah, more like boots now. Start bringing things back in. Okay. So there's a boots there. I'm going to add boots outline here as well. I think they should be like this. Oh no, they're trouser line. That's why. No, that's not right. That's why. That's because the trousers are over there. Okay, so we need to get rid of these. Get rid of them. Get rid of them. Okay, so there's the trousers and the boots. So that's his trousers there, and his boots there. Okay, that's okay. I think. The outline we can probably get rid of. Okay, back to boots color. Green color, like that. Then darky green color here for this. And then have a sharp color for here. Let's do that. And make that kind of this color here. Yeah, this color here. Okay. Right. And then his pants will make a kind of orangey color, they'll be kind of corduroys-ish. Just to give them a bit of contrast. Trousers, I'm going to call that trouser color. Trouser color. Maybe a brand new combine harvester. Ooh, those are disgusting, those pants. Alright. Not to worry. And then we're going to put those ones there, those ones there, because they need a bit of shadow underneath the pant leg there. And then on this side here, we'll make them a little bit shinier. There we go. And then his jacket has these fetching buttons upside there, so I'm going to do buttons. And those buttons kind of exist here, and those buttons will be a kind of goldy color, but they're probably lost. And then I'll make them this color here. And then his jacket, is all over this. So if I grab this here, like that. His jacket is slightly lime color jacket. So I'm going to go for a kind of this color here, this color here, that kind of color, and I need to go for a darker color. Do that over on this side as usual because that's where shadow's coming in from. And we'll also Add some shadows in there. Gives a little bit more definition to his arm actually. And then over on this side, grab a little bit lighter color and add some color up to here. And do that. And yeah, I think that's Farmer Giles is finished. Okay, so we'll call him Farmer Giles Mark II. Let's see what he looks like in the game. So right now Giles' sprite is there. So I'm going to change that. I've got no reference. Oh, because I never saved. Oh, that'll be why. I know why. Alright, let's fix that. Gravity gun. That is going to have the pickup. Where's the gravity gun? Nope. Tractor beam. Oh. Oh. That's missing. Ha ha ha. So I guess none of this saved last night. So I'm gonna. How did I close that down? Okay. So yeah, none of that saved last night. Close some of these apps down. Darn it. Okay. So I want to go back to project, and then I want to go to gameplay, and then there should be file. Save as. Oh, that's why. Okay. 40 assets art gameplay. Farmer Giles Mark II. And then what we do is we just change Farmer Giles sprite. We just go boom, and Farmer Giles is now that. And we also need to fix a couple of things. First off, we need to get rid of the background, so we can save that. Go back into here, background's gone. Then what we want to do is we want to change that to single, that's fine, center's fine. We want to make that point, so he's now nice and crisp. I'm going to click on apply, and instead of pixels per unit that, it's going to be 16 because that's what everything else is. Then we do apply, and now when we run the game, Farmer Giles looks a bit more like Farmer Giles. And the tractor beam is that sort of working state, which is kind of okay. I mean, he looks like he's got no arms, but that's the way that I draw things, so I don't think there's much you can do about that. Not right now, anyway. And yeah, we need to. What do we need to do now? We need to get that gravity gun looking nice. So it's going to be a circle. So it's going to be. If I go back to my drawing cam, so this is the plan here. I just realised it was over there. I was looking over there. So the plan is we have this here, and then this rotates around um, our player, which means that um, we're going to have to draw a circle like that, and then like diminishing circles down to the bottom, and then that's going to be our sprite there, and then it's going to look kind of neat. So we probably want to do well, where's the other one? Where's the gravity gun? So gravity gun is currently, oh, 1 second. Um, so we're back. I've moved the camera over there. Alright, so I need to build this. Where are we? No, there we go. So this is the current gravity gun, which is terrible looking. So I need to create something that's similar to this, but not as terrible looking as this. Alright, let's turn them off. So I don't mind the gravity gun being smaller, that's okay. I mean, right now it's kind of stupidly huge. Yeah, I do want it still to be a circle, though, at the outset. So it's got to be bigger than that. So it's got to be, it's got to be at least 3 times as big. It's got to be 24 by 64, maybe. So that would be over here. No, it just needs to be 3. So that'll be 3, so 24 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 by 40, I think, is a good size. So it's 24, and then the height is 40. Okay. And then an ellipsis tool. 22 by 22. So that's the kind of idea, and then we're going to like do diminishing circles all the way down. So I better get started then. So I want to have do the same thing on the other side. So that kind of idea, and then bring it down. So I'm just going to fill it in with black just now, so that we know what we have. it's got to kind of come into like tapered into a point. We've got to kind of come in. If any of this is making sense, I hope it is. So I'm gonna merge those layers. Merge layers. So that I can remove bits quickly. It's got to fit this circle idea. Okay, and then so that's 3, 5. So, and then I want to merge all those again. And that's going to be coming by 3, 2, 2, 1, 1. And then we're going to have like kind of miniature ones in here as well. Like this. Kind of like that. That kind of idea. And yeah, that's going to be like a kind of alien kind of glow about it. That kind of thing. Right, we want to make, let's make this a kind of green color. Make it kind of really insipid green. Make it that color there. And then we can kind of make it a little bit floofy. Like that. That kind of idea. Gonna make it really thick in the middle, make sure it's really opaque. And then I want to change the fill of that to 60. Something like that. So it's got that kind of fill. And we'll call this gravity gun Mark 2. Okay, so we can tweak this later on, but it's a kind of good enough shape I think we've got there. And then the gravity gun, of course, is a sprite, so we just need to drag that into there. And the gravity gun needs to be made 16. And we need to make that point, and click on apply. And now we see we've got this kind of gravity gun type looking thing here. And our pickup point, we're going to move down to here. 0.5, and then the radius we're going to bring in to about here, so that gives us a radius. And now we've got a gravity gun, which looks a bit like a bat. Yeah, now to me that feels like it's acting like a its trigger. Okay, so it's not quite working the way it should work, but I also think it needs to be a bit bigger. Yeah, it needs to be a bit bigger. And the gravity gun itself is going to be on here. So we're going to like have a gravity gun here. Which I think I'm just going to make a circle. It's probably easier. And that can be, well, that's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 16 by 16. Or I forgot to talk there. Hello. Maybe I want this kind of maybe we want a kind of purple glow actually. So let's do that. So the base of that is this. And then in the middle we want a kind of like starbursty type thing, but for now we want kind of a little bit of 3D in here. So I want that to be darker. And then, actually maybe we want that to be inverted, because it's going to be like a kind of deep version of that. So it's going to be that, and then the other side is going to have so this is like this is the barrel of the gun that we're looking at. Right there, and then in the middle we want kind of random sparkly things. Kind of like a kind of glowy orby type thing. Nope, that's not a good color. Better color. Something like that. And maybe we want to have like two versions of that. So let us merge that layer into one, duplicate it, and then the duplication will be and let's go pick these colors here. Let's make that kind of purple. So it kind of glows, that kind of idea. Something like that. And what we want to do here is either from there or the thing. Yeah. And this is going to be 16. No, it's going to be 32 and 16. And then the Orby thing. You're going to drag that into here. That fits neatly there. And then I'm going to drag that here. That there. And we're going to turn that one off, like that. And I'm going to turn the background off, and then I'm going to save this as Ludum action. Okay. Gun action. It's going to be 16. And it's going to be point by multiples by editor slice. Cell count. There are 2 columns. 1, 2. There we go. Okay. Now, if we drag these 2 across to here, we will get an animation. So I'm going to do that there. Gameplay. I'm going to call this held gravity gun, and held gravity gun weapon. I'll call it weapon. I am going to drag that into Giles as a child of the sprite, and it is going to be sorted as 5, so it's going to be in front, and then the Y is going to be slightly here-ish, and I'm going to scale it slightly, 0.8, 0.8, 0.8, so it's not going to take up his entire face. And so it should be so there we go, and then let's make that 0.4. There you go, a little bit better. Okay, now what we want is another script that's going to turn that one on. Scripts, gameplay, and we're going to call this animation controller. I'm going to steal things from Gravity Gun. Public transform weapon animation, and we're going to say weapon animation game point set current firing is that minimum fire value is, we're just going to put that across here, and that's it. So in fact, we just need to have transform on there. Let's just do it as transform. Do game objects. Oh no, we didn't want it to be separate. We need to have it to be separate, because if we set that to be inactive, then we end up in a whole bunch of pain, son. Alright, so we're going to add a weapon animation controller, and then the weapon animation is the gravity gun weapon, like that. We're going to apply, and then we're going to turn this off. So the weapon only shows when you have, there we go. Now you need to change the pivot point for the weapon. But you see that the weapon only shows when he has that. We need to get that to emanate from there as well. Otherwise it just looks silly. But the animation works, and it looks like he's holding something, so it's not too bad. We still don't have a game, but we've got kind of mechanics of it, and I've done all the graphics. No, I haven't done any of the graphics. I've done the graphics for Giles anyway, so at least he looks kind of happy. Maybe we want to do it when he's moving, like the animation plays, like we get maybe get his feet moving. I don't know. I don't know. Okay. So that gravity gun still sucks. We need to get that fixed. And pronto. Alright, so the gravity gun pivot. The pivot for that is at 0. So we can change the pivot, that's easy. So the gravity gun weapon is at minus 0.4. So we can change that to negative 0.4. What did that mean? It did move. Okay. That was weird. And so yeah, now it looks kind of like the gravity gun is now part of the weapon. We still need to get it so that it's coming out of there. Okay. Okay. Right, what do we need to do next? What's next? Let me fix that gravity gun just now. So, date, gravity gun, tractor beam, that was it. Tractor beam. Catch up, blah, and let's just change all this here. We'll just change this to do this set parent transform sheep dot transform dot local position equals vector 2.0, and yeah, that should snap to the front. Is there anything else in here? My stomach is going crazy. There we go. Okay. So it's snapping to there, and you can see the sheep is now captured. And as soon as we let him go, meh. We should probably also turn off the collider as well for the sheep. Let's do that. Sheep state is that. Instead of doing sheep state, let's do sheep state dot captured. So we don't have that yet. We will have that. So that's dropped. Sorry, that's not that. Let's change that to drop. And then let's change, instead of held and tractor beam, we're going to change that to captured. And I want to generate a method there, and I want to generate a method there. And then inside dropped, we're going to say sheet state equals moving around. So you're moving around, and then the other one is captured. And captured, the sheep state is held in the tractor beam, and then we want to get the collider and then disable it. So I want to say get component collider 2D enable equals false. And then we want to do the same thing for that, but when it's true, it's dropped. And then we've got to have public void added to get sheared. So we're going to have a get sheared method here. So to do get sheared. So these are all the sort of state machine transforms that we've got. So you're going to be dropped, you get sheared, you get captured. And then randoms. Some glitch in the matrix there. Because the system. That's why. System. There you go. That's better. We don't need system there, and we don't need this thing there. Okay. So now you need to make the tractor beam purple. So now they shouldn't bash into each other. See, they're colliding with that, but they're not getting pushed out the road. And we let go, boom. It just wanders off in a random direction. You really need to move him from being that rotated thing to, or maybe just keep him always rotated, like rotated the right way. Yeah. Okay. Figure that out there, and then this gravity thing here. There, and the gravity gun Mark II. Okay. So I want to have that. So it's going to be filled with that. So it's going to be a purple gravity gun. And then I want to something like that. And then for each one of these, I want to make that like go from a darker one. So this is going to be dark here. And then get progressively lighter. So like that one there. white in the middle. A little bit of Prussian white there. And happy little squirrel. Happy, happy squirrel. Happy in there. Happy, happy, happy. Let's make that 90. And yeah, that's quite nice. And then for this one here, I want to raise it just a little bit so it goes into like a kind of taper. Like that. And then that is our gravity gun. So then we want to then export this. And there's a JPEG and there's a PNG. Just make sure that's okay. Yeah, that looks okay. And then we want to do save. And art, gameplay, and then we have Gravity Gun Mark II PNG. Right. So this would be Gravity Gun Mark II, and 16, and point, and then the Gravity Gun, instead of Mark II, is now going to be this dash Mark II. You see it looks a bit better. And that is going to be just Gravity Gun, sorting order, just put it in front of everything. Hopefully that looks nicer. Yeah, it looks awful. So the sheep have got to be in front of everything, otherwise they just get chewed up. Right, so sheep have got to be, let me apply that first. Gravity gun itself, let's bring that in a little bit to about here, 1.3. Just because it looks like it's kind of okay. It doesn't really have a long reach. I didn't want it to have a long reach though, because it just looked a bit. It looked a bit like a lollipop man. Like, I don't know, just looked strange. Okay, so the sheep have to go above everything else. I'm going to go grab a sheep. Things I thought I'd never say. I'm going to go grab a sheep, and then we're going to make that 20 because that's got to be above everything. Apply, and then we can build that there. Okay. So now pick up a sheep. Now he's in the tractor beam. And we drop him off over here, and then he gets sucked into the carbomatic, or whatever we're going to call it. Okay, and then that takes a long time to get down to here, and then we drop them off in there. Alright. Okay. So what have we managed to do today? Why can't I find... Okay, so we've done the attract part of that. Farmer Giles is pretty much done. Maybe some leg animation. Maybe there's some leg animation there. Foxes, we also have robbers. Steal the wool. Stop by following sheep at them. Repel foxes, don't let them attack a sheep. Follow sheep at them. So I had this idea of doing repel. Let's would be nice to have. Because we don't know, it's not like in 3D where you're pointing there, and I don't want to have like a crosshair in the game, so we'll maybe not get around to doing that. Okay, we should probably drop off. I want. Okay. I want to be able to drop things off. I want to be able to drop sheep off. So let's do that just now. So yep, there. And then Farmer Giles is, what size is he? He is 32 by 16, so he's not 32 by 16. He just isn't. No, he's 16 by 32. No, he's not. He's 16 by 32? That doesn't make any sense. Well, I guess he is, yeah, he's two 16s stacked on top of each other. So 16 by 16, so if we make that 32 by 32, let's make it, let's make the width 48 and the height 32. Okay, and then this is going to be the sort of shearomatic. So I'm going to come in 4 from the edges there, and do that there, and then I don't want it to be background, so that was a terrible idea. Let's get rid of the background, and I want to make this a bright orangey yellow, and I want to make this a bright orangey yellow as well, but I only want this to be 50% filled because I want that to be a glow, and this is going to be the shear-o-matic. and the Shiromatic is going to have two states. Should we do this with animation? Or should we just do it by swapping out? Oh, let's do swapping out. Okay. So this one is going to be Shiromatic normal. So export. Actually, let me save as Shiromatic normal. Okay. And that means Shiromatic normal. And they look both exactly the same. Well, that's not good. That's because they're both turned off. That's fine. Aha. Okay. So Shiromatic normal is 16 again. And point, no filter, apply. Shiromatic normal, that's good enough. And I'll put that up here. Make that 16, I want to make it 8. Let's make it 8. And click on apply, makes it a lot bigger. That's good. So I want to make that there, and then the Shiromatic is going to be 8 again, and point. So Shiromatic, and we're going to have a little trigger on here. So swap sprite on trigger. I'm going to create this swap sprite on trigger. Yep. Void on trigger enter 2D. On trigger enter 2D. Void on trigger exit 2D. And then I want to have a public action action goal filter. Let me just add system here. You gotta return. Oh no, you can't. This is the new version, isn't it? Yeah, only false. Should be returning true. Anonymous function converted to a void returning delegate cannot return a value. What? Oh, that's why. That's because it's a function. That took a while. Okay, and actually it doesn't take that. it returns function. It takes a collider 2D and a bool. So that's collider takes that. That's what I was looking for. I want a function that takes in a collider and then does that. Okay, cool. Cool. And so I want to say if filter collision needs an image, it doesn't need a sprite. Render, put it right there. So this is going to be sprite equals get component sprite render. So this is how you can do kind of cheap flippy book animations. So when something enters there, we want to highlight it. And the reason why I want the filter is because I want to be able to filter out anything that isn't a sheep. So if filter collision, then I want to filter out that exit. If filter collision, okay, because it's only going to be held, so this is going to work. So filter collision, then sprite equals sprite 0, so it's the first one. So enter the trigger is going to be the second one, sorry. And then for this one here, it's going to be the first one. So when we leave, we're going to put back the first one. And then we want a shearomatic script. Create C# shearomatic, and do that solution. Yeah. And this is going to require components. Swap sprite on trigger. Okay. Right. Swap sprite on trigger. Swap sprite. And swap sprite equals get component. Swap sprite on trigger. Swap sprite dot, and then a filter equals, and then our filter is going to be if c dot compare tag sheep, and c dot get component sheep dot state equals held in tractor beam trip. So really all of that is just we want to return all of this. So we actually return this. So I'm going to bring this into the next line. Equals that. And that's it. So for now, that's all we want to do, is we just want to make sure that the filter works. So inside our shearomatic, we are going to add a shearomatic script, and it's going to add the swap sprite on trigger one. And then we just drag our swaps out there. So we drag our shearomatic normal, and then our shearomatic highlighted. So if we were to grab a sprite, grab a sheep, and then drag it up to here, it will do nothing because I haven't added a collider. collider 2D, and it is a trigger. Okay. So now I'm going to grab a sheep and well, we've hit a kind of snag because I turn off the collider, don't I? Well, then we need to keep the collider on. Oops. Okay, so let's take that off and take that off. Yeah, that sucks. Oh well, I guess we keep the collider on. And then there we go. Okay, so when the other sheep enters, notice how there's other sheep entering the pen there. They don't enter the sheep-o-matic. So that's why I don't want that to be colliding with that. Ugh. I don't know how I'm going to do that. But as soon as you enter a sheep with there, the sheep-o-matic starts to light up, which is good. Alright, how do we do that? Well, I know what we can do. We can turn off collisions between sheep. So I can go to Project Settings, Physics 2D, and there is a layer that we need to add. So we need to do layers, Project Settings, Tags and Layers, and then I'm going to add one called Sheep. And I'm going to add my sheep prefab there, and I'm going to add that to the sheep layer, and I'm going to delete that, and then we go back to Project Settings, Physics 2D, and then I now have, if I scroll down here, I now have sheep, and I don't know if you guys can see that, but I'm going to disable sheep collisions. So sheep collisions will no longer be an issue. So I grab the sheep there, and you see that now the sheeps don't react to the other sheep, which is good. Well, they shouldn't react to the other sheep. I think we can knock that one out. But let's it seems to be getting pushed out. I wonder if it's because the other container's getting pushed out. So the gravity pickup is this point here, but why would it be moving? That radius. Yeah, I wonder if that's moving because of that. Well, we'll figure that out. I'm assuming we'll figure it out. So grab that there, put that in there. Grab that there, put them in there. I quite like this because there's a little bit of you pick things up there, you put them in there, but then you got to run over to here, so that it kind of spreads it around a bit. I don't like the fact that these guys are always congregating over here. So maybe I can do something about that. maybe I can add them to turn off like how another collider, and then that collider interacts with that as if it's not a trigger. Oh, sorry, we could put another trigger. We could put another box collider on there so that it never reacts there, because it seems that they're attracted to that. So that kind of sucks. Yeah, let me figure something out because it's like they're swarming around there. And also, why the hell are the guys over here? Oh, good. Right, I may have to rethink my barrier. Okay, I'm going to take a comfort break, and I will see you guys in a bit. Alright, so when we drop off in Sheeromatic, we need to there's like a pipe that needs to happen. You have a sheep here, so you drop them off in Sheeromatic, boom, like that. We'll do an animation where it can zooms in, and then add that. What will we do? Okay, let's do an animation. So the animation will be, it will zoom in slightly, zoom up, and then zoom into a point, and then that'll be the sheep disappearing into the Sheeromatic. And then and what? And then we add that to the number of sheep captured. So we need to have like a level controller here now. So our level controller so the sheep needs to know that it's inside the inside there. So if we go to the Sheeromatic, so we want to do that there. We also want to tell the sheep that it's inside the we need to know it's released inside there. So how can we do that? So that is on the weapon. No, where are we? Tracked beam capture. Okay. So drop. So drop happens. When does drop happen? Drop happens there. So if currently firing. Okay. So this is the bit we should have got a to do here. To do, handle, drop, and chuck. Yeah, handle, drop, and chuck. Okay. So the gravity gun needs to know about or rather the sheep needs to know. Okay, I'm going to say released. Release. Because the gravity gun doesn't need to know if the sheep is going to fly out or if it's going to be dropped out. So I'm going to do release. I'm going to generate that. And it's public. And system. And it's going to be there. So I need to know if the sheep is inside inside the shearomatic. So I'm just going to ask the sheep. I'm going to say if sheep in if current sheep goes null, return. If current sheep inside shearomatic, then we want to call drop. Otherwise, we want to call flow. And then direction is whatever the direction is for the tractor beam. So we need to specify vector 3 direction and float speed. Direction, speed. And we can make these private now. And we can move them over there to here. And then we need to find out if it's inside here. So how do we find out if it's inside here? Well, we can ask the sheep-o-matic. Well, every time we enter the sheep-o-matic, we can set a flag. Let's do that. Public go. Actually, I don't want to know. I only need to know if it's held in tractor beam or not. Captured held in tractor beam. Inside shearomatic. Maybe we just want to have held in tractor beam hovering in or at shearomatic entrance. At gates of L. So if they're inside the shearomatic, then I want to say public void toggle hover toggle enter gates of hell. Entered. And then we say sheep state equals entered sheep state dot gets hell. Otherwise held in tractor. Toggle enter gates of hell. Let's go to the system again. And then inside the shearomatic we do return sheep state equals at the gates of hell. So inside the shearomatic is at the gates of hell. And that is inside the shearomatic. So I want to say no we don't. I'm going to filter that, but I want to filter, I want to say E as well. Var sheep equals c dot get component sheep sheep dot toggle. Let me fix this first of all. So that's me bool and bool. Yeah, bool and bool. So we're going to pass in C and E into there, and then we're going to filter entering it. So entering it is true, and leaving it is false. So we pass in the collision, and we pass in whether we're leaving or not. So we then do sheep dot enter colossal gates of hell, and then it's going to be E, and then we return whether that's a sheep or not. If actually I'm going to do if c dot compare tag sheep return false. So we don't want to do anything if we get there, and then we want to do sheep dot sheep state equals that. Okay. Alright. Turn sheep state equals held in the tractor beam or sheep state entering at gates of hell. Probably just do is enter. I don't know why I had that. I've got two states there that I'm probably not using. Not to worry. Okay, and and that way I know if I'm dropping. Why is that not working? Sheep. So where's release? Dropped. Where's my tractor? Okay, so there we go. So we've got a tractor beam here, which is, if it's inside the shear-o-matic, then we drop it. Otherwise, we throw it. Okay, let's see what happens when we drop the sheep. Oh yeah. Release. So we don't know what the direction is, but we kind of do. Let's make that down here, and do pivot dot Euler angles, and then the speed is just going to be 4 just now. It doesn't really matter right now. And then we go back to here. Oh, speed's there. Does. Speed's there. And we go back to our tractor beam. Set that to be debug mode. And we start playing. So if I release it, it goes into the throw. And if I grab that guy there and let him go, it still goes in the throw. Oh, because throw doesn't do anything, that's why. Ah! Oh, see, I need to do this bit here, which is the same as this. And then that's going to be, oops. Dropped. Dropped. It's not dropped though. It's not dropped. It's get sheared. Get sheared, which is going to be entering shear-o-matic. So it's going to do something different at that point. And then we want to do a public void fling. Float speed. And this is going to be speed back equals one of our angles times speed. Keep state equals moving around. So that's going to fire off there. Okay, and then tractor beam is now going to do fling direction. And that's going to be enter shear, get sheared. Get sheared. Okay. And partial success. So we can't pick them up from in there. Once they're in there, well, the animation is going to be going anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But some bugs still. So they haven't, the problem is the sheep haven't left, which is why that animation there doesn't work. So that's okay, we can fix that because we want to add an effect onto this. So this is the sheep there. So entering shear-o-matic, and then we're going to do add game object, add component, spiral fade, and then that's going to be spiral fade, and then spiral fade dot end action equals the destroy game object. So at the very end, we're going to do that. We're going to do like a spiral fade out thing. So spiral fade. And a semicolon here. And C# spiral. So spiral fade is once it starts is that public action what do I call that? End action equals using system and let's wait for that to tick once. So we'll wait for it to tick once and then we'll start doing things. And let's do an animation factory as well. JavaScript. Animation factory. Okay. Solution. Yep. Public and animation curve. Create, and we want to create a T curve, so it's going vector 3. That's not vectors 3 T initial. Let's say it's going to be item 1, float time 1, item 2, float time 2. And do this. I want to animate from and to, so basically I want to do a lerp from 2 values. Brain's fried. But I just want to do the animation cover. Yeah, maybe I don't want to do this. Yeah, maybe I don't want to do that. Maybe I'm just trying to be too fancy. Maybe get rid of that. Animation factory. Let's get rid of that. Okay, spiral fade. Alright, so I want to do vector 3, current scale equals game object dot local transform dot local scale. Object transform dot local scale times 3. So I want to do root, and then float time equals 0f. While time is less than 1, and this equals time dot delta time divided by 0.5 because I want it to be 5 seconds, and we'll say bar scale equals p.lerp, and it's going to be scale lerp, and it's going to be object.transform dot local scale to target scale at time object.transform dot local scale equals s, and then I want to then fade that back down to the, oh that's what I want to do, with the initial object.transform.local scale, and then I want to do the exact same thing. I want to go whoop, and straight down to 0, and then it is going to be this in here. And then it's going to be the local scale to initial scale. Actually, it's not the initial scale. I don't need initial scale. The target scale is going to be vector 0. And I want to do that in a quarter of a second. And then at the end of that, I want to then call end action. It's called spiral fade, but it really just does it like boom. And we don't need an update for that. And so sheep, so we do the end action equals destroy game object. Okay. Let's see if this works. And if this works, I'm going to take a break. If it doesn't work, we'll work on until it works. That did not work. Did it add the spiral component? There's a question. Let's find out. No, it did not add a spiral fade. So get shared is not working. Is enter the gates of hell working? Is tractor beam ever dropping anything? It's kind of where the first place to look. Okay, so there's a sheep in there. No, no, it is not. So my code here is not working inside that. So sheep state is at gates of hell. Okay. inside shearmatic is that inside shearmatic is set to be that. But again, I don't want that. Where's the shearmatic? If it's not that there, return false. Okay. So the problem is this is entering the gates of hell and it's triggering it. So I want to do full bar inside equals that, or that. So only if it's inside that I want to toggle the gates of hell. Enter the gates of hell. Because I don't want them just wandering by and triggering it. Okay. It's always dropping. Make that 1 second. Half a second. Oh, I don't know why. That'll be why. And then at the end action. So the sheep, the end action should destroy itself. So if I attach to there, so we should get a sheep going boom, and then inside there is a sort of little playful animation. Come on. No, and I don't like the fact that keeps flicking on. Yeah, there's weird stuff happening. Something's wrong with my state. Also, this is not working here. This is not getting sheared. I don't know if it's because it's not entering here. Yeah. It's not entering. So drops probably not working either. Too much state. Yep. Actually, it's the tractor beam that's inside there. So I don't need to know about the sheep, I just need to know about the tractor beam. Right, tractor beam, where are we? Tractor beam. That's the gravity gun. That's the gravity pickup. Which is there. So I just need to know if that's inside there. So I want to say one of these has to have a rigid body, so it's going to be this one here. Rigid body. And constrain everything, and I'm going to make it static. Oh, there you go, that's fine. That's good. Okay, so it's static. That's good. So now I can go to the Shearomatic and I can tag this as Shearomatic, and then I can say if collision dot compare tag Shearomatic else do everything else. And then I need to do the same thing for exiting as well. So I need to do a forward on trigger exit to. So if it's a Shearomatic, then I want to say go dropping off equals. So exit is that, and that is true. So I'm going to say if dropping off, drop off. Right. Otherwise it's a sheep. Else if okay. And then I don't need all that inside the sheep thing. So inside Sheapomatic, I don't need that. And I don't need toggle into the gates of hell. And I don't need to know if it's inside or not. I just need to know if it's a sheep. Oh, but I need to know if it's moving or not. That's fine. So held and tracked beam only. So I'll return that. Okay. All right. No, still not working. Actually, I can change that from damn it. enter trigger exit. Well, it's the same thing all over again, isn't it? It's physics picking stuff up. So, is a trigger. So is that not going to work because it's a trigger? So I'm going to have to add a child one because they're both triggers. I mean, that makes sense. That's a bit tense though. But if I make the Shearomatic not a trigger, it's not just not going to let me in, is it? Well, probably will actually. Oh, there you go. Well, at least the sheep don't go in. Yeah, but that one gets pushed out. And Giles can't get in, although he can crop that off in there. Oh, right. This trigger. What if we have? Can you trigger another trigger? Trigger another trigger. Kinematic rigid body trigger collider should trigger each other. So if you set up both colliders to have rigid body component kinematic flex set to true, trigger set to true. Physical effects and their positions. Rigid body component kinematic cell. Okay, so if I add rigid body 2D here and I make it kinematic edge. Freeze rotation. Oh, I don't want a freeze rotation. Rather than turning all constant constraints, you may want to consider removing the rigid body 2 component, which makes any glider static. But the problem I've got though, Mr. Unity help box, is this guy here is saying that alright, let's try this. I mean, no difference whatsoever. I mean, at least it's still working. Okay, what if I made, hear me out, remove that component there. What if I went over to here, just apply that. Went over to here, made this not a trigger. It's a rigid body, that's fine, okay. And then over here, this is a trigger. The only problem is I can't. Let me see. So is that there? So that's going to move that to there. That lets me into there, but it won't let me into the sheep in there. Because the sheep's collider is still on. But I can make that sheep. But then okay. I want it to be a collider, but I don't want it to be a collider. But I don't want it to be a trigger either. This is a pickle. An absolute pickle. So this is going to be a trigger. I don't need that. Remove component. Let me see if it does actually hit this. Trigger enter 2D. So we don't even know if it's hitting that. Let's see if it is hitting that. So, okay, maybe that's a bad place to put a breakpoint. Definitely not hitting that, and I really want it to hit that because I want to be able to take the sheep in here and drop them in there. And I need to know that he has entered there, and I don't want these two objects to know each other. So I want to be able to drop sheep in there as well. So maybe maybe I do want to turn off the sheep. Sheep captured. Let me look in here. Current sheep. Get component later 2D equals false equals true, and let's not bother turning it on for that either. Okay, and then this one here is not a trigger. So that would be on collision enter. So much faffing around. don't want to do it. I just sometimes Unity just doesn't lend itself to letting you do things. Alright, okay, so I want to drop into here. Right, okay, let me add a layer first of all. So project settings, tags and layers. So I want to add a layer here. I want to have sheep, shear-o-matic, and I want to have a player layer as well. Now the reason why I want to have that is because I don't want Giles, actually let's call him Farmer, Giles. I don't want Farmer Giles to bump into things. So I don't want Farmer Giles to bump into the shear-o-matic. So shear-o-matic and Farmer Giles should not bump into each other. Shear-o-matic is in the shear-o-matic layer, and Giles is in the Farmer Giles layer. Yes, yes I do. I want to make everything there. So now Farmer Giles will just wander aimlessly over things. So I don't want him there, but the sheep will not enter there. I think I'm flinging these rather than flinging them. Okay. Now that is a box collider, and I'm going to add a rigid body 2D, and I'm going to make that static. Okay. Alright, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to take a break. Yeah, that's all day. I will catch you guys later.